Want to know if your Spanish skills are improving and what your real learning level is? Get your language skills assessed with our free level assessment test. Just click the link in the description and sign up for a free lifetime account to get assessed. Let's review the key vocabulary.
Hola,
Hello,
hola, hola.
Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say, "Nice to meet you"? Mucho gusto. Mucho gusto.
and the Spanish pronunciation of Mark's name?
Marc, Marc.
Do you remember how Mark says, "I'm Mark"?
Soy Marc. Soy Marc.
Do you remember how Mark says, "Nice to meet you, I'm Mark"?
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark.
Mucho gusto. Soy Mark. Do you remember how to say hello? Hola. Hola.
Finally, do you remember how Angel says, "Hi, I'm Angel. Nice to meet you"?
Hola, soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Hola. Soy Ángel. Mucho gusto.
Let's review the key vocabulary.
Guadalajara,
Guadalajara,
Guadalajara, Guadalajara. Seattle,
Seattle,
Seattle, Seattle. Londres,
London,
Londres, Londres. Veracruz,
Veracruz,
Veracruz, Veracruz.
Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready?
do you remember how to say New York?
Nueva York, Nueva York.
And the word meaning from? De. De.
Now, do you remember how Mark says, "I'm from New York"?
Soy de Nueva York.
Soy de Nueva York. Do you remember how to say where? ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? And the formal word for you? Usted. Usted.
Do you remember how Angel Salazar asks, "Where are you from"?
¿De dónde es usted?
¿De dónde es usted? Do you remember how to say London? Londres. Londres. And the word for Seattle? Seattle. Seattle. Do you remember the word for Veracruz? Veracruz. Veracruz.
Let's review the key vocabulary.
Estudiante.
Student,
Estudiante. Estudiante.
teacher,
Maestro. Maestro. Maestra. Maestra.
engineer,
Ingeniero. Ingeniero. Ingeniera. Ingeniera.
nurse,
Enfermero. Enfermero. Enfermera. Enfermera.
doctor,
Doctor. Doctor. Doctora. Doctora. Barista.
barista,
Barista. Barista. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember the word for a male investor? Inversionista. Inversionista. Do you remember how Angel says, I'm an investor? Soy inversionista. Soy inversionista. Do you remember how to say student? Estudiante. Estudiante. And how to say not? No. No. Do you remember how Angel says, I'm not a student? No soy estudiante. No soy estudiante. Do you remember how Angel Salazar says, I'm not a student, I'm an investor?
No soy estudiante, soy inversionista.
No soy estudiante, soy inversionista. Do you remember how Mark Lee asks, Are you a student?
¿Eres estudiante?
¿Eres estudiante? Do you remember the word for a male teacher? Maestro. Maestro. And the word for a female teacher? Maestra. Maestra. Do you remember the word for a male engineer? Ingeniero. Ingeniero.
Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember how to say phone number? Número de teléfono. Número de teléfono. And how to say my phone number? Mi número de teléfono. Mi número de teléfono. And how to say is, as in my phone number is? es. Es. Do you remember how Mark says, "My phone number is 5055342112"?
Mi número de teléfono es 50-5534-2112.
Mi número de teléfono es 50-5534-2112. Do you remember how to say you're in a formal situation? Su. Su. And how to say please? Por favor. Por favor. Do you remember how the clerk says, "Your phone number, please"?
Su número de teléfono, por favor.
Su número de teléfono, por favor. Let's review. Respond to the prompts by speaking aloud. Then repeat after me, focusing on pronunciation. Ready? Do you remember the word for yes? Sí. Sí. And the word for father? Papá. Papá. And the phrase for my father? Mi papá. Mi papá. Do you remember the word for mother? Mamá. Mamá. Do you remember the word for sister? Hermana. Hermana. Do you remember the word for and? Y. Y. And how to say me? Yo. Yo. Do you remember how Ben says, my father, my mother, my sister, and me?
Mi papá, mi mamá, mi hermana y yo.
Mi papá, mi mamá, mi hermana, y yo. Do you remember the word for family? Familia. Familia. And the informal phrase for your family? Tu familia. Tu familia. Do you remember how Sylvia asked, "Is this your family?"
¿Es tu familia?
¿Es tu familia? Do you remember the word for brother? Hermano. Hermano.
Now, here's what you can do to cement this conversation in your head. Review the conversation with our dialogue tool and lesson transcripts. Study the key words and phrases with our spaced repetition flashcards. Review the key grammar and cultural tips inside the lesson notes. And test yourself with our assessment tests. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to access our Can Do course.